Well, that should do it. Thanks for tuning in, and welcome back to the shop. This is our 2013 Mitsubishi Fuso FG that I'm slowly turning into an Overland camper. And this aluminum bracket that I just finished TIG welding together is for our air conditioning. If you're somebody who regularly watches this channel, you might have noticed that I haven't put a video out in a while. But don't worry, I'm still working on the truck. You may have noticed that there's some green tape on the back, and that's because I've started sealing the outside of the panel to the frame. I've also been doing a bunch of work on the roof. So we now have 4 pieces of 1010T slot bonded to the roof, and the center 2, where they come up to the front, tie into these 2 pieces of 2x2 box tube that are bonded to the front of the Habitat box. Now that may not seem like a lot of work that's been done, but for all of that bonding that had to happen, I had to sand the roof and I had to sand the front. And the middle of the roof is not an easy place to get to, so it does take some time. To prep for the adhesive, I scuffed the gel coat in a 1-inch wide strip. An important step of doing roof rail. No, not that kind of roof rails. Now, if you've put 2 and 2 together, you've probably figured out that these 2 vertical frames and this bracket are gonna hold the condenser. All I have to do now is lift it all up above the cab and bolt it together, where it'll look kind of like this. Now, I've got to drill some holes and I'm going to put some Riv-nuts in here to hold everything in place, but I know what you're thinking. Yeesh, is that going to clear the cab? But don't worry, I did some math and it should work. Also, I did tilt the cab and make sure that it does work before I drill any holes. And you might wonder why I'm bolting this part together as opposed to welding the whole assembly. The reason for this is if in the future this air conditioning unit changes due to a failure or an upgrade or anything like that, and I have to make a new base to hold the air conditioner, I can just unbolt this one and bolt the new one on using the same bolt pattern. If I had welded everything as one piece and then bonded it to the front of the truck, I would need to cut all the adhesive in behind here in order to remove the frame, make a new frame, and then re-glue everything to the front of the camper. In my opinion, a 2-piece bolted assembly is far easier. So I've pre-drilled the holes in the front face of both brackets using the bracket as a template. And I've done these with a smaller pilot hole. Because I'm going to be putting Riv-nuts in, I'm using this Nex-Tac Riv-nut gun kit, Riv-nut kit. I've had this for a couple of years and it is great. I'm going to use M8 because I happen to have a whole bunch of M8 bolts that I can use and they're a decent size. So what I need to do now, using the step bit, is open the hole up to the exact size for the Riv-nut, which I believe on here is marked 10. But we'll do it slowly and find out. Basically, if you don't know what a Riv-nut is, it goes in like a rivet, but it's threaded on the inside, so it turns into a nut. Much stronger than trying to tap this, because this is only 1/8 inch thick aluminum. You wouldn't get very many threads, whereas this is a steel thread, and it compresses on each side. So we'll have 3 here, 3 over there, and then eventually I'll have 2 more on the sides, but I don't have enough of the M8 Riv-nuts, so I've got more on order. All right, we're gonna start with this one here, and slowly go up to what looks like the right size. Yeah, that's a good thing to check. I'm not going to go out through the back before I get to the right size. Here we go. Okay, that's clearly not big enough yet, but we're getting close. So let's go one step at a time here. All right, that's one step. Not that one. I believe it's going to be the next one. All right, that should be a nice, snug, tight fit, and it is. Perfect. 0 slop in there. So that was 1/3 from the end. So I have 2 showing, which is the number 11 on here, which makes sense because I think it said it was 10.9 millimeters. So really nice, clean, tight fit. That should be a good compression in there. So I'm going to run the next 5 holes, and then we'll put these in. Another nice thing about the Nextac Riv-nut kit is that it comes with everything you need, including a bunch of different size Riv-nuts and the step bit, which is sized to exactly match the different sizes of Riv-nuts, so you know you're going to get a nice tight fit. Using the step bit in aluminum is a super fast way of stepping up the hole size from the pilot hole. Now, installing a Riv-nut is essentially the same as installing a rivet, except you actually thread it onto the Riv-nut tool. So we're going to take the Riv-nut tool with the M8 thread in it, thread the Riv-nut on until it's tight. Until it's tight with the handles open. Got to get the handles open. Insert it into the hole as tight as we can. And you kind of want to push in on it to make sure it stays seated, and at the same time pull the handles together as tight as you can. And then you back it off a little bit, unscrew the back with the thumb screw. We now have an M8 threaded insert in the front of the box tube that we can thread our M8 bolts into. I brought the bracket back down from the roof and I've opened up the 3 holes from what we used the pilot hole. So we're now correctly sized those 3, which matches these 2 for all the M8 mounting bolts. So you'll notice that these 2 are offset from these ones, and that's so that the inside of the Riv-nut and the back of the bolt don't collide inside the box tube. Look at these welds. I'm pretty happy with these. I don't TIG aluminum that often. They came out all right. Now, before I take this bracket all the way back up the ladder and onto the cab roof and bolt it back in place, there's one more thing I'm going to do, because it's going to be a lot easier to do down here, and that is drill 4 more holes for 4 more Riv-nuts to actually mount the condenser to the bracket. And that is going to end up looking like this. We've got 4 Riv-nuts around the base, going through the 4 bolts, holding the condenser to the roof bracket. So now I can take it apart, put the bracket up on the roof, and then put the condenser on the bracket on the front of the roof. That should be one solid bracket. Now, I haven't done the holes in the side yet because I wanted to get everything on the front, make sure it was lined up, because I actually have a gap in behind here. And if I did the side bolts before I did the front bolts, it could pull it one side or the other, which would throw off the holes in the front. So I did the front face first, got everything fit up. Now I can do the side holes, except for the fact that I don't have enough M8 Riv-nuts. So next I'm gonna try fitting the condenser up here, which I did down there, but it's gonna be cool to see what it actually looks like. It's not the easiest thing to maneuver onto the roof, and I'm being extra careful not to scratch the roof, but in reality, it's pretty light. This is one of the reasons why I chose this model. Since it's up high, keeping the weight as low as we can is going to help with stability. In a moment, I inadvertently tested the bracket strength by walking on it. Pretty sure we'll be okay for the condenser. Oh, I just hope I don't permanently deform the cab roof with my feet. Well, there we have it. It's not done by any means yet, but it is on here, and the front wall of the camper hasn't fallen off. I've got a lot of fiddly little things left to do. I got to make some rubber feet to go underneath here. I just want to print some thin TPU. I'm going to make a gasket that goes in behind here so that when I tighten this down and when I tighten these down, we don't have a gap. And the gap is partly there on this because the Riv-nuts don't sit flush, which is fine. A rubber gasket down this face and down that face will make everything nice and snug and vibration resistant. I've got it mounted so that we are just below the height of the roof, so that when the solar panels are mounted, the forwardmost solar panel is actually going to overhang the compressor, or the condenser, sorry, which also has the compressor in it. We've got a good gap here. Now this isn't quite as big a gap in behind as what the manufacturer recommends, but I don't think it's going to be an issue because this unit is probably 3 to 4 times the size we need to actually cool this space. If you're wondering which unit this is, I will put the information for it in the video description along with a link to Amazon where I got it and some of the reasons why I chose this one. Now, that was all the time I had yesterday, but today I've had a little bit more time, so I've been working on installing the evaporator inside. Now, this again is not quite going to meet the manufacturer's recommendations, but I only have so much space. To start with, I've added 2 more pieces of 1010 T-slot running from the front to the back of this upper frame. Now, I don't really want to be using much wood in this project, so I've taken this piece of cutting board and mounted the bracket on the other side. Now, mounting it this way isn't really something you could do in a house because you want it against the wall, but in this case, we're actually going to be this side of the wall, so I needed to make a false wall. So this is roughly how it's going to sit, and you can see that it's supported by the T-slot extrusion on each side, and it's going to have a triangular bracket on the back, which is actually inside printing right now. Now, although it's a little different, what mounting it this way actually does is allow me to get all of the mounting onto the back of the unit and then put it in place and bolt it to the T-slot extrusion. That means I don't have to try and press it up tight against the wall and clip it into place when I'm sort of in a bit of a recessed pocket up there between the upper shelf and the ceiling. By having the mounting plate installed on this false wall first, I can flip this over, drop it into place, put my mounting screw in there, and then this whole assembly can get bolted in. So the 2 triangular brackets will sit here, and they will attach to the back side of the plate that is mounted on the back. And the air conditioning will sit right about there. Here is what the bracket looks like. That's what it looks like in place. All that's left to do now is secure the plate to the bracket. After drilling out the holes, I've hammered in some T-nuts, so now we have metal threads inside the plastic board. Now I can reassemble the whole thing and put it back in place. And with that, both units are now in place. Now, this is still just a dry fit. I have to take everything apart again to connect the lines and the power, but all the mounting hardware is fabricated and everything lines up in place. One thing that I really like about having it mounted off the wall is I can bring all the lines down through this space here before they go out through the wall to the condenser, which means it's going to be a downhill run here, and then my water drain can continue down on the outside. That is as far as I'm going to get in this video, but we're only a couple steps away from having working air conditioning inside our Fuso. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you check out the links in the video description, but most importantly, don't forget to come back next time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.